Episode 140. Are these comics going to make good film and television shows? We got Green Lantern. We got Gotham by Gaslight, the Kryptonian Age. That's a mouthful. And we have Kill All Immortals. Why? Find out. Let's check it out right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. My name is Frank Zanca. I am your host. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And speaking of that, if you are looking to learn a little bit more about filmmaking, I am going to be doing a course via Zoom next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the 20th through the 22nd. If you're watching this, too late, it's the 20th through the 22nd of August. So it's not very expensive. It's going to be broken up into 3 sessions, 1 hour per, and we're going to teach about writing to a certain budget. Make sure your screenplay is structured in a way that it can be broken down for production. And again, creating a schedule, because we're going to be going over scheduling and budgeting and overall getting everything you ready for investors, financing, and things like that. Anyway, if you're interested, the Eventbrite link will be in the description below. Plus, I am also a board game designer, so if you're familiar with Mark Spears, he is a Marvel and DC cover artist, as well as Spawn, Vampirella. He just did, a Lobo cover for Action Comics for DC, and he just did a whole bunch of art for classic monsters, and we turned it into a card game. It's very easy to learn. It's pretty awesome. You're basically playing as a classic monster. There's also a expansion for a Dark Oz artwork that he did. It can be really fun. Anyway, you could sign up in the description below as well for Kickstarter, and we're going to be launching in October, but you're just going to be signing up so that when we do launch, it notifies you. All right, remember to give me that like, give you that thumbs up, everything like that, and if you can't subscribe, please do. I do I do this series for people that not only are collecting comics, but for people that want to keep informed of what Marvel and DC are doing, because as you know, a lot of these go right to streaming services and to film and things to that effect, and this basically gives you abreast of what's going on in the industry and what stories are being told. If you want to jump around to any particular comic, I do have the chapter section below. So let's jump into a Green Lantern. This is number 14. This is by my buddy Jeremy Adams. And this is the whole Absolute Power event about Amazo robots that somehow have the ability of taking powers from people, whether they're magic, whether they're an alien, whether they're, I don't know what, mutants, whatever. No matter what it is, they can take it. How does that work? I have no idea. And then the person they're taking it from no longer has those powers. How do you take magic out of somebody? How do you take their DNA out? That's why I'm not collecting this. It makes absolutely zero sense. But anyway, I'm not stopping my run for any of the things I am collecting, and Green Lantern is one of them. So it just happens to be a tie-in, but I didn't buy it because it was a tie-in. But anyway, Jeremy is forced to continue to stop and start his run and his story because they keep throwing all these events in there. And this is like, the last 3 years has been like Event City. The Marvel and DC do not know how to not do an event. They just don't know. It's like, what are we doing next, Braid? We're going to do an event. Oh, we haven't done that in 2 weeks. How many issues are going to go over? I don't know, 300? We'll probably have run this event for the next 10 years. It's the stupidest shit ever. So anyway, because Marvel just did, Blood Hunters, and I'm sure they're jumping into a Venom event right now. It's the stupidest thing. Anyway, so Hal has been captured. His ring has been taken. He's back on Earth, and there's this whole group called United Federation or something, whatever like that. Anyway, they're destroying power batteries, the big power batteries that are on planets, and they're all mixing them into one big battery for all of the emotions. And Carol was supposed to be marrying this other dude. I don't remember his name. I just think of Paul from Spider-Man. It's the same type of thing. Anyway, she knows that she's in love with Hal, so she ends up going back to him, but she's also a star sapphire, and the ring came to her. So now the other guy that she left at the altar kind of thing, he's got the sorrow ring now. He is crying. It's just, sorry, Jeremy, it's a bad idea. It is a bad idea. But anyway, Hal has been captured by Amanda Waller, and somehow he headbutted King Shark and knocked him out. It's the stupidest thing, too. So yeah, there's some stuff I'm not agreeing with. But anyway, he's running around now Waller's facility and trying to escape. And it's almost like Die Hard, where, he has no shoes, no shirt, the whole bit, and beating people up. Meanwhile, the guy here is playing chess with an Amazo robot. And it's Alan Scott, who was the original Green Lantern. But anyway, so you see the robot sitting there. He's like, you're going to lose in 3 moves. And he's like, why are you playing if you know you're going to lose? He's like, because these are choices that we make. He's trying to fool the AI into rebelling, basically. And then they hear an alarm. He's like, I have to go, but don't go anywhere, even though you're in a cell and can't go anywhere, because we have a lot to discuss. And he's like, all right, I'll be here. Meanwhile, Bruce Willis, Hal, is jumping over bullets, etc., and he realizes that Amanda Waller has collected all of these weapons in this warehouse from all of the supers, in this case, Condiment King. So, yes, he uses the Condiment King guns, which is mustard and ketchup, to hit the guys over. And he's like, you're going to make a good lunch now for somebody. Where's King Shark when you need him? And then he says, hold this on the bottom, and that is the pole for Blue Devil, and he hits the button, and the guy doesn't let go. I mean, he did exactly what Hal told him to do. He says, yeah, you hold it. Okay, I'm going to hold on to this as long as I possibly can, no matter how high I go. Stupid. So anyway, he continues to fight people. He's got the javelins. There's an Amazo robot behind him. Ooh, he's like, oh, how did you get there? This is going to be a problem. So now we switch over to Carol, who is having dinner with, a bunch of the JLA people, or just JSA, I should say. And they're on the ceiling. I don't know how the food is staying there, but they look like they're on the ceiling. It looks like somebody saw Labyrinth just one too many times, Jeremy. So anyway, they're talking about how they're going to break into whatever else, and the 2 people next to them are like, we need somebody that nobody recognizes. And they're all looking at her like, I guess it's me. So then we switch over to this United Federation thing, and that's the big baddie there. His name is Theros. So we have the planet of Gamora, and we have Theros. So we're really dipping into Marvel names at this point. Not sure why he's doing that. But anyway, so Theros is like, oh, and my plan is finally working. And Hal is just like, I'm going to short circuit you with this big key. And he's like, that didn't work. And I'm going to headbutt you. Oh, that didn't work. But the Amazo has super speed, so he can't get away from him, basically. That's why he ran in front of him. But he ended up getting a stick, and it wasn't really a stick, it was a wand. And he's like, abracadabra! And that teleported Hal across the world along with some of the stuff there as well, to where I guess Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman are hanging out. And then we go back to Carol infiltrating this other thing. And then we have Sorrow Man. I'm so sad. I will cry a river on you and you will drown. It's so bad. And then we have, I don't know, it's just, so it allows them to charge an extra $1 per issue. They have this backup story that, who cares? So, I like it, but I have to call bullshit on some of it, man. I gotta call bullshit. So anyway, this particular story won't make a good film or television series, but, because he keeps getting interrupted by what's going on. Having the Theros thing and having all the power batteries and having the Green Lanterns on the run, yeah, that's good. But he keeps having to jump into this event crap. Give the guy a break, all right? Let him get back to the story. All right, so let's jump into Gotham by Gaslight, the Kryptonian Age. So basically it's got 10 million things. Batman, Gotham by Gaslight, Kryptonian Age. This is number 3. So anyway, this is an Elseworlds book about what Gotham would look like in like the 30s or whatever. Actually, it's the 20s, I believe, something to that effect. So it's almost like a steampunk version, and they had one already, and now this is the sequel to it. But anyway, there's Kryptonian ring that everybody's after, and Catwoman thought she pilfered it to give to Penguin, but then it ended up being a fake. So they don't know where the real one is. Meanwhile, Adam Strange and his group are in Antarctica, and they find this like ancient ruins, but then they get attacked, and Wonder Woman comes out in full armor to protect them. Meanwhile, Batman and Catwoman are fighting ninjas and stuff like that. So they have met each other at this point. All right, because she went to Bruce's party. Okay, so we start out, and Adam Strange going, once upon a time, there was a little mistress that was a princess. A mistress that was a princess. I like that. And then we go back to, she's like, look at the sky. And that doesn't look like Diana at all. I think the artwork is pretty poor in that one. But anyway, we go back in time to her fighting this big centipede. And I'm just going to fast forward through this whole fight scene to the point where she ends up talking to it. So she throws the lasso, and the lasso allows her to talk to it. I don't know how the lasso of truth allows you to talk to things, and it translates, but somehow that's a new thing now. And there's another new thing I'm going to bring up also at the end of this. But anyway, she says, you are beaten. Let's not do this anymore. Let's you just go on your way in peace, so we do not have to fight one another, and I do not have to vanquish you to another plane. And the thing is like, all right, whatever, I'm out of here. That's basically what happens. So then she goes and addresses the people, and she says, I am Diana. And they can't understand the word she's saying. But why would a princess kneel? I call bullshit on that. A princess would not kneel. Nope. But she does in here, according to this writer, who was Diggle. Yeah, Andy Diggle. So then we go into, and I knew it as soon as I saw him, that was Bruce Wayne. And Bruce Wayne goes to, like, a sex parlor. And, of course, he sees Selina there. And Selina knows it's him, so they take him upstairs. And he's like, well, how did you track me down? She pulls a knife on him, and he pulls it right back on her. And basically hands her back the knife and says, all right, let's just talk. And she's like, well, I had you no matter what, because all the girls burst in with guns. And he's like, whatever. So she takes him downstairs to where she has a guy bound that has something to do with this whole situation. And she says, well, go ahead and question him, because I already have. And he says, the sleeper awakens. And he looks like he's falling asleep. So he's like, are you talking about yourself? The sleeper awakens. All right, man, whatever. You need to wake up. So then we go and all the way to Colorado, where we have this train, and this guy here, his name is Alan Scott. We're going back to Alan Scott, who's a Green Lantern, but he looks like Ollie. he looks like a thin version of Ollie, but anyway, he's a salesman, or he's a hot air balloon guy, and then a hot air balloon is called the Green Lantern. So he ends up going into this dining car. He sees this old woman, and the guy stops him. But she says, "Oh no, you seem nice. And by the way, my ring really likes you. It's all exploding with energy." And she's like, "What the hell? That's pretty cool. And just looks like a Green Lantern, like my balloon is called." And she's like, "Yes, it's so pretty." But then we have ninjas causing trouble. Why the ninjas have to cause the trouble? But they do. And they explode the bridge. No, don't explode the bridge. And it goes, and the whole train goes off the rails. And they're like, "That's a job well done. What are we going to do now, Braid? We're going to go to Disneyland. Yay." So meanwhile, then we go back to Adam Strange. And she's like, Diana's like, "I know you can't understand me. So let's tie each other up. We'll do some bondage and now you'll understand me." And then he has a vision of like her world and what I don't know what, I guess she lives underground. Themyscira's underground. And since when can the lasso now give people visions? That's the weirdest thing that I've ever heard. But anyway, he's having a vision of this hellish place in the middle of the earth or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, there's a lot of it. Whatever. Moving along. And boom, boom, keep going. We're talking about, Diana leaving Themyscira to go up to the main world, etc. And really the only important part is the last page. "The sleeper awakens." That's what it says at the end of that. So we have no idea who the sleeper is at this point, but he's awakening. Yay! I think the first Gotham by Gaslight is a lot better than this. I think this is, and they're stretching it out. It's going to be 12 issues. This does not seem like a 12-issue series. Anyway, I'll stick with the first one. I'll keep collecting it until I'm totally bored or it falls off the rails completely. All right, so let's jump into Kill All Immortals by Dark Horse Comics. This is Zach Kaplan. This is the second issue, and this is almost the same story as both Kill Bill and the Greek one that they just did, Kill, Die, Repeat. And that was about Artemis, I believe, whose husband and child were killed or whatever by Zeus. Oh, no, he thought it was killed, but he actually took the child to raise as his own, even though she thought he was dead. And she's just going on a rampage killing gods. And I really liked that series. I thought that series was good. And now we're doing almost the same thing, but now with Norse mythology. We have Frey, who is the daughter of Eric the Red, who has become this big multimedia tycoon, multi-billionaire. But anyway, they're immortal, as you can tell. But anyway, she has a boyfriend that she wanted to be with or whatever, and we have a flashback now where she's handed the axe to chop the guy's head off. She won't do it. She's like, "We must show mercy." And Eric's like, "Yeah, Thor, go show how we show mercy." And he's like, "Okay." And the guy's like, "Yeah, there goes my head. I will be the headless one, and you will be non-headless too." So anyway, then we switch back to today's time where she has rescued the guy, I guess a romantic relationship situation here. They try to just get out of Dodge, except that they run into her family's men who just trying to shoot the whole place up. And she just says, "Well, I haven't done this in a while. Let's see how I can do." And basically, she's Deadpool. So she jumps over and gets blasted in the face 1,000,000 times, but then heals like immediately. And then, so the fight scenes are pretty good. They're pretty gory. I like them. And she's like, "I will kill you all. Just watch." And she's like, "Opa, opa, I'm going to bite you." And then there's the guy in the back of her head. And I think he runs the car into them. And she's like, "I'd rather get run over than shot in the head. So good job." So they get on the plane, and he says, "Well, he's going to kill me for, betraying him and flying you out of here." And she's like, "I'll kill you if you don't. So you got a choice to make." So anyway, they fly off, and they have to make a plan, so they're breaking up their cell phones so they can't track them, etc. But he's like, we need a plan. It's like, well, what kind of plan do we get against immortals? Well, it says, how are you an immortal? And you can see all the dialogue in there. But I guess there's another goddess or whatever from mythology, Norse mythology, that's name is Iden. So it's Iden with a U, Idun. But anyway, so she fell from the sky or something, and she believes that Eric has her somewhere, imprisoned somewhere, and that is what's keeping them immortal. So if they can free her or kill her, then the immortality will go away, and she can go kill them or whatever, though they can have some kind of a truce. But anyway, they land in Norway, and they go to this library, or they call it a library, but there's a whole bunch of shit in there, and as you can see. So it's like more of a museum that they're holding all of their bounty throughout the centuries. And they hear something from upstairs, and she goes to investigate, and it's Thor. And she's like, I really don't want to fight you, and you can just say you didn't find me. And he's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I am not doing that. So they end up fighting, and she's putting hatchets in him and all that stuff, and she barely escapes, etc. And it's even said that if she gets her head cut off, it'll grow back. So there's no, besides some major damage, there's no risk of her actually dying. And he goes after the the boyfriend, I think it's just the boyfriend, comes up, and he goes after her, and she goes, no! And I think she just tackles him. Well, first of all, she puts an axe in his back, and then tackles him and goes him out the window. And they go into the pool, and the pool all turns red. He jumps out after her, and then she comes up. She comes up, but Thor does not come up. And he's like, I won, but he can't die either. So I guess he's just healing at this point. But she healed pretty fast from like a dozen bullets to the face. So I'm not sure how that works. But would it make a good film? Yeah, it's kind of like Old Guard and stuff like that Netflix did. So let's do a recap. So yeah, it would be even a streaming movie would be kind of fun. Immortals fighting each other. I mean, the same thing with Deadpool. It's kind of fun. Gotham by Gaslight? I don't think so. So far, I'll stick with the original one. So I'm going to say no to that. And the book is only okay. I'm not overwhelmed by this. And Green Lantern, the original story before Jeremy's getting sidetracked with this whole Amanda Waller thing, that would make a better movie than this, the Absolute Power thing. All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way through. I greatly appreciate it. Remember to give me that like, give me that thumbs up. And if you can subscribe, please do. Ring that bell, ding, ding. It is free and helps me grow the channel. Also, give me a comment. Are you collecting anything, or are you just watching to see what's out there? Which is great as well. And remember, too, that if you're interested in learning some stuff about filmmaking, how to prepare a script, how to write to a certain budget, what the tropes are, etc., and then how to produce, check out my class. It is not expensive, especially for what it is. And hopefully you can join me. You'll see the description has the link below. And then the description will also have the link to my Upside Down Classic Monsters game with art by Mark Spears. You'll be able to play as any of the classic monsters. You'll build your army up, and you'll be able to give them weapons and all that kind of stuff. Fun stuff. All right? So definitely check out the link for that below as well. I will see you guys on the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. And also check out some other videos as well. We did an Alien review. We did a review on some indie films as well. Anyway, check that out. And I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye-bye.